Anyway, I should have pencil and paper in front of me writing them down, but I have to get back to it when they come back to me. Area code 773, Yoda American Muslim 360. State your name, where you calling from?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
This is Fareed Rashid from Chicago, Illinois.
Well, Brother Rashid, Fareed, I got 2 Jumas for you today.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I got
sir.
2 Jumas for you today. Special package just for you. Alhamdulillah.
Yes, sir.
All right,
Yes,
we got
sir.
the first one will be coming to you at noon your time from Jacksonville, Florida. Dr. Suleiman Yang will be delivering the khutbah again at 12:30 your time.
Okay.
Then the second Juma we're going to bring to you from the West Coast, from Long Beach. Imam Ram El-Amin will be delivering the khutbah from the California Department of Corrections Muslim Chaplains Conference. That will be at, let's see, 30. That's going to be at 1:30. No, excuse me. That's going to be at 2:30 your time. Okay, so you got one. You got one at noon, and then one at 2:30. Okay. You got 2 Jumas for you today.
Yes, alhamdulillah. Thank you very much.
No problem, my brother. No problem. Inshallah.
All right, then.
And
All right, then. I'll be staying in touch with you.
thank you. Thank you. Alhamdulillah.
All right, then.
Alhamdulillah.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, let's move to the second clip. Mahasan, press 1, please, to go out. Let's go to the second clip that I have here for you. And again, this is Imam Warith Deen Mohammed from a talk entitled, lecture entitled, Creator and Creation. Here we go.
Therefore, we must understand that whatever we worship beside God is creation, because God alone is creator. To worship Jesus, then, is to worship creation. He's created. And to worship Jesus is not to worship the Creator. Because Jesus is not creator, he is created. And to compare Jesus or any other with Allah as a God is wrong. Because the one who creates cannot be compared with one who does not create. And God Most High also says in our holy book that the first samawat wal ard, the creation of the skies and the earth, is a bigger creation than the creation of man. So that idea that man is the microcosm from a macrocosm, a small world from a big world that is on his way back by divine route into the big world, from God back to God, from God back to God as God, to be God, is all condemned in our religion. Man is not from God, he's from matter. And everything is created by God. If we want to think of ourselves as being from God, then we are from obedience to God. We are from obedience to God. We are from his will, from his plan. He created us to obey his will, and he created us obedient to his will. To return to God only means to return to that state of obedience. When we return to that state of obedience, conforming to what God created us to be, or created us for, then we have returned to God. We speak of those who die as returned to God. They have returned to God because they have no will of their own to act outside of the law of God. So they have returned to God.
All right, inshallah. This conversation, this paragraph, let's call it that. So this paragraph, you see, I went back and picked up a little bit of the other so that you can follow this forward. But the point that we want to focus on is that which he talks about man, the human being. Right? This is the changing of the paragraph. The paragraph changes now from creator to creation, i.e. the man, the human being, and then he gives us a understanding and a logic on the human being. Okay? Before I do that, before we go further than that, I want to go back, because now I remembered what I wanted to say a little earlier. I wanted to go back to the verses I read earlier in Qur'an. Hassan was saying that Allah's created every molecule, I believe she said, for us. Whereas also, again, what I read in the Qur'an under, again, we're in Surah 41, Hamim, or the Sajda, and Ayat 10. He set up on the earth mountains, standing firm, high above it, and bestowed blessings on the earth, and measured therein its substance in 4 days for anything or anyone who asked. In other words, again, the material, anything we were going to need, whether we could think of it now or the future generation will think of it. Allah created it when He made the earth. He brought every substance into being. Allah is not creating new things for us. That has already passed. He did that in the beginning. In other words, He's not here trying to say, what do these people need now? This is, again, thinking about the theology of God, of Allah. Allah is not creating on the heaven and earth, on the earth, let's just say. Now, He may be creating new planets way out there someplace, I don't know. But He's not creating on the earth. The earth was completed. The substance of the earth, all your needs, everything you wanted, whether you can think of it or not. Allah said, I completed that in 4 days. All right, that's what I want to go back to. Now, moving forward, Brother Bilal, just hold on a quick second. Well, let me go ahead and take you. Then we'll move to the next discussion. Brother Bilal, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Like I said, I just came on, but alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. You know, when I just heard the last thing Imam Warith Deen Mohammed said about man, and that he was created for man. And when I heard that, I said, this man here, I'm talking, looking at Imam Warith Deen Mohammed, Allah forgive his sins and reach paradise, is that he talks to things that in our mind, but it's not things that we ever thought about. It's simple, but I just never thought of it. So I know, alhamdulillah, that Imam Warith Deen Mohammed and the role of majesty, he's the one, alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Alhamdulillah. Thank you. Press 1 now, Brother Bilal. Okay. So now, what is our takeaway? What is the takeaway I want you to have, since I'm the one sort of structured this classroom, I guess. Now, we've left talking about the theology. Okay? Now he's given us ontology. In other words, now we're talking about our own being and our relationship to the Creator. Now we say, from Allah we come, to Allah we are returning. Now He just explained this logic Okay? So we need to bring this logic, this thinking, into our statement. When we say, from Allah we come, to Allah we'll return. We return. In fact, let's play this clip one more time. Let's go with Brother Kareem, and then I'm going to play this clip one more time. Brother Kareem.
Yes.
Go ahead, you got a question?
Since you're going to play that clip one more time, I would like to hear it one more time.
Thank you. Because this is important. I mean, all of it is important. But talking about the ontology of the human being. Remember, all of this is, we're talking about the language or the aqeedah of Imam Warith Deen Mohammed and or this community of people. So when we're talking about, do you teach what Warith Deen Mohammed said, this is what we need to begin to understand and our takeaway, so to speak. So let's listen to the clip one more time.
Therefore, we must understand that whatever we worship beside God is creation, because God alone is creator. To worship Jesus, then, is to worship creation. He's created. And to worship Jesus is not to worship the Creator. Because Jesus is not Creator, He is created. And to compare Jesus or any other with Allah as a God is wrong. Because the one who creates cannot be compared with one who does not create. And God Most High also says in our holy book that the khalq as-samawat wal-ard, the creation of the skies and the earth, is a bigger creation than the creation of man. So that idea that man is the microcosm from a macrocosm, a small world from a big world that is on his way back by divine route into the big world, from God back to God, from God back to God as God, to be God, is all condemned in our religion. Man is not from God, he's from matter. And everything is created by God. If we want to think of ourselves as being from God, then we are from obedience to God. We are from obedience to God. We are from His will, from His plan. He created us to obey His will, and He created us obedient to His will. To return to God only means to return to that state of obedience. To return to that state of obedience, conforming to what God created us to be, or created us for, then we have returned to God. We speak of those who die as returned to God. They have returned to God because they have no will of their own to act outside of the law of God. So they have returned to God.
Okay. Even when he talks about you cannot compare the Creator to the creation. Again, one of the underlining concepts is that we as human beings, in other words, because we're trying to figure out who are we in relationship, let's say, to this whole world. Again, as he said, this micro to the micro to the macro concept, or our relationship to God. So now he's trying to give us some ontology. What is this being? Who are we? We are worshipers, and we have to be careful not to mix creator and creation. This is one of the things that, say, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his mission is that you cannot mix creator with creation, or creation with mentor, with the creator. So how do we worship? Who are we as worshipers? We are here as the wheel. Our role, and I wanted to read you another ayah. Permit me to get back to it. Popping back in my mind now. In Surah 3, 185, where Allah says, if anyone desires a religion other than Islam, never will it be accepted of him, and in the hereafter he will be in the ranks of those who have lost. How shall Allah guide those who reject faith after they accepted it and bore witness that the messenger was true and that clear signs had come unto them? But Allah guides not a people unjust. Sadaqallah Adhim. In the same concept, now we say, oh, if you're not Muslim, you're going to be rejected. No. If you're not in submission, the concept here is, do you take submission as your religion? Do you take submission as your worship, the way you're to adhere to your God? Your purpose is submission. Warith Deen Mohammed, just talked to us saying that our role is submission. And when we die, we're in the, say, original state of submission. So in that case, we have returned back to God, or we have returned to this original state. We cannot go outside of the will of God. But in this state, this live state, we can move in and out of. So some people reject faith after accepting it. Some people submit and then don't submit. And sometimes we just submit on certain things and we don't submit on other things. So be careful. Because the ontology, the study of the human being, is a part of our aqeedah. Who are we in relationship to Allah, the world, the animals, the sky? We also have to study us. So this is a glimpse into this study, this ontology of the human being. And again, let's say according to Imam Warith Deen Mohammed. But I don't think many people, especially Muslims, I think they're not going to object to this language, this philosophy, this ideology here. All right, so we got a couple of people. What I'm going to do, because Salat is going to be coming up. Well, I guess maybe I got about 30 minutes or so thereabout. But let's try to bring the question. I'm only on clip number 2, and I have 6 more to go. So let us, and maybe myself too, have to minimize some discussion. But let us go. I'm not. Anyway, let's go. I'll decide when we need to move forward. All right, Brother Kareem. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Alhamdulillah. The Imam saying we're not from the macro as we reduce to the micro. The Qur'an agree with that because in the Qur'an, Allah says there was a long period, long ages, when man was not even a thing mentioned. So that makes that's logical. What the Imam just said, that there was a long period when man was not even mentioned, not even considered.
Yes.
And also in the ayat that you led us to prior to this here, it says, it mentions that the earth and men are doing all things to give them nourishment in due proportion.
Yes.
In due proportion. That is here, but that does not mean that we have discovered it all. That it is ever given, ever given. Like the Qur'an is infinite. The Qur'an is consistently unfolding, bringing these features forward. So let us not think that because we're in this digital age that this is it. No, there's more to come, and the earth itself is giving us more and more and more and more. So, we're not, and the purpose of it is that those who choose to will get within the will of Allah. Those that choose not to, they won't. So, every prior to man, everything was in the will of Allah. When Allah is creating something that would have its own will, the angels kind of flinched. They kind of flinched there. Yeah. But Allah said, I know what you do not. So let us look at that also in relationship to what the Imam just said and what I stated out of the Qur'an. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Brother Bilal, assalamu alaikum.
Thanks a lot. As far as this creation, I know certain things that we need to survive on this creation. So the things that I know, hospital, businesses, and things to upkeep our life is part of the matter that Allah gave us to grow and to help our spiritual life along. So when you come back to Him, so it's not a big thing right now for me if I just go out for money with no purpose. I just want a lot of money, but I don't have a purpose behind that. So what it is, I get caught up in the creation that I'm supposed to be utilizing because it's laying dormant or it's in its nature, but I'm all out my nature because I'm not utilizing this creation to build me up as a physical person, as a physical person with needs. So I have to go down and build up my objectives, ask Allah for His assistance, and dig in and get these institutions. Because if not, I'll be on this planet and I still won't be getting it. Alhamdulillah, Allah knows best. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Sister Mahasi, assalamu alaikum.
Yes, I'm going to defer because I do want you to move to be able to cover what you're doing. I wanted to make one suggestion that maybe you can revisit the definition of ontology.
Okay.
So as you refer to the listeners know.
Okay.
And
Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much.
Oh, Brother Thomas.
Yes.
Just another thing. You reminded me when you said about Brother Kareem was saying it was a long time when man was not even a part of it.
Right.
You know, had a conversation with a 4-year-old the other day. He has lots of books on dinosaurs. But the question he asked me, not about what he saw in the books, but in his mind what was missing. And so he said, where's the human being? How do human beings navigate these dinosaurs? It was profound.
That's an important question. You know, how do we survive this, right? Yeah, that's definitely a good one.
So I had to test
Okay.
we work around.
Uh-huh.
I didn't test with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh, definitely. Definitely. You know, we were not around at that time. Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, and so let's go back to the terminology. Ontology. So, it's a philosophical view or inquiry, study, research, maybe say discussion about the nature of being. Okay? We have a being. We are human beings. Nothing else. There's no monkey being. There's no cow being. There's an existence in us, a certain awareness, a being. We have the ability. Well, I guess it's still like going back to the will of God. We have an ability to use will in ways that no one else can, no animal can. So the study of us as a unique being in the creation of God is ontology. Who are we? Why do we exist? Why are we the only ones with intelligent speech? Again, the Qur'an say it can give us some things, don't get me wrong. But yet, our own minds, our own spirits want to study us. I was listening to NPR the other day, and they were having a discussion about the study of the brain, but a particular area of the brain. I don't remember their scientific term for it. But this young lady, she was a graduate student. She was trying to get in, I think, her PhD program. And she was kind of fascinated with this study of the brain. But in her interview, she had some, let's say, medical issues. And when they come to diagnose it, find out it had to do with this area of the brain. Okay? So here she was pursuing a study of this concept. And yet the concept was affecting her at the same time she was in pursuit of it. Now, the monkey isn't studying his brain. Bird don't study the art of flying. How do I learn to fly? How did I learn this? You know, we want to know, how did we come into intelligent speech? We want to know what laughter is, what produces laughter. We even study the muscles that create a smile. This is ontology. Okay? So here now, but in a philosophical point of view, we're talking about then scientifically, but in a philosophical view, now we're broaching upon what Imam was talking about. Are we many gods returning to the big God, take our place back in the heavens? In other words, are we just a piece of God? Are we just a division of Allah here on earth? But this is some people's belief. This is, again, aqeedah. So here he is correcting, he is being surgical. The Imam is being surgical with us. Again, I'm going to move to the next clip. We're not going to get all of these in, inshallah, today, and it's okay, because I would like to see us, I guess maybe myself, do this with a lot more of his speeches, his lectures. We need to slow them down, take them paragraph by paragraph, and begin to catalog, codify the language, the information that is coming from this. What is our thoughts? How do we take this and create